This is good.
This is
Slow.
got a little slow motion.
What was here?
What do we got here?
Slow.
This is
And it almost sounded like an EDM version or something. I don't know what happened. Was it kind of weird, huh? What happened there?
That was the It's These Guys remix, I guess.
It was kind of a remixy kind of anyway, hey, here we are, Dan. I got my jersey on.
Yeah.
I got my hat on. Big soccer game coming up in about an hour and a half. USA Belgium.
Well, you've been down on U.S. soccer. What makes you so fired up on this Saturday morning?
I have been down on U.S. soccer, but why I'm fired up is because I got lucky and I got a number of tickets for the World Cup and the U.S. game. So I'm just hoping they can be competitive so I can sell the tickets for a bunch of money.
You're hoping desperately to be wrong. That's where we're at.
Yes.
After all these bad mouthing of the U.S. has lost its way in soccer.
Yes. And by the way, Dan, you know, I do this other show. It's very similar to what we do, but not quite, because that show is specifically about soccer. So I do a soccer show with another guy. I'm the guy that knows nothing about soccer. He knows tons about soccer. So I just go up there and I pop off. I have my hot takes, you know, that kind of stuff.
Is that New Heights? What's that one called? New Heights? Oh, that's the Travis Kelce show.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see that. So, Dan, This is going to be a great show. I'm excited. We touched on it last week about The Simpsons. This is going to be great. But how have you been? What have you been doing this past week?
This is a great sports time of year when you got the beginning of baseball season and the March Madness. You kind of got in and around. People go crazy for the NFL draft, the combine. There's just so much fodder. Right?
Yeah.
If you're in the discussion business, there's so much fodder to talk about. How's your bracket doing, by the way?
Oh, dude, I was like you. I wanted upsets and I picked upsets. My bracket's closed because it's all number ones and number twos I see. Yeah. It's terrible, Dan. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, is it the transfer portal, right, where the rich get richer?
That's what people say. Yeah. Michigan, Arizona. I mean, Iowa's a bit of a surprise, but Duke and UConn, right? 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've been looking at some of those brackets, like the 1-2. So go Iowa, I guess. That's our Cinderella.
Go Iowa.
My family's from Iowa. My dad was from Iowa. I go to family reunions in Iowa, so they're stoked.
Okay, and your dad and who was it? Talked about corn.
Roger Craig, who was from Nebraska, but it's a common Nebraska Iowa thing. Yeah, it's fun. Like my dad's no longer with us, but Roger, my dad, watching the Nebraska-Iowa basketball game would have been a different story. They wouldn't have got along so well.
No, was that the game where Iowa did? They scored like a deciding basket or whatever, and Nebraska only had 4 guys on the court. Yeah. Was that one?
Yeah, coaching.
I think I saw a meme on that. It's all fun and games until there's only 4 guys on the court. I don't know. Just pretty interesting there. Not as bad as when Weber called that timeout when the Fab Four would have been the Final Four. Anyway, so Dan, how's your bracket doing? Did you?
I think I've said before. I mean, I don't do a bracket anymore. Became a little bit of a Grinch about back in the day about.
That's right. So
it is interesting, to see it play out from afar. I haven't watched a lot of games, but it is, an inescapable part of March is that tournament's playing somewhere sometime.
That madness. I know. I was in the gym the other day and I'm like, oh, there's a game on at like 2 in the afternoon. There was.
I was in a bar last night that shows games and that Duke game was pretty compelling. Duke St. John's, right? And that wasn't on the screen. It was the Michigan-Alabama game was on the screen.
And they were killing them.
They're both on, suckers.
Yeah. I know. What's going on here? I'm excited to see. I'm going to King's Gastropub here in Pasadena. To watch the U.S. soccer game.
Okay.
And I'll bet you that they have a number of TVs. I bet you there's going to be some game. Probably, let's see, that Iowa game, right? No, the Iowa game's at noon today. Yeah. So I guess, is this Eastern time? I don't know. It says 3 p.m. So I don't know if it's Eastern time, Dan, that Iowa Illinois game today. Go Iowa.
By the way, not by me, but in the Mighty Athletic today, there's a great story about the Illinois-Iowa rivalry, which I didn't know much about, but now I do. It goes back a long way, and it's genuinely got some animosity.
Really? Yeah. I know Cincinnati and Cleveland used to, and they would yell at each other, stop acting like you're from Cleveland, or, So what is the deal? Why in the world does Iowa and Illinois not like each other?
They kind of did a timeline of little run-ins. One of them involved the recruiting war in which Bruce Pearl, who's now on all these broadcasts, but he kind of messed with the Illinois recruiting process when he was an assistant at Iowa State. It's a very famous thing, apparently, that I was oblivious to.
Wow!
Check it out in the Athletic. So Iowa and Illinois were recruiting the same player. Pick it.
That's how you get to the Athletic.
Scott Docterman is the guy who wrote the story. But Iowa and Illinois were recruiting the same player. Bruce Pearl, who was an Iowa assistant, recorded the player whose last name was Thomas and went on to be a very good player. But he recorded him saying, like, hey, Illinois is offering me some illicit kind of perks.
Yeah.
Vaguely, it wasn't real damning, but vaguely enough that he recorded it and then chaos unleashed.
Sus.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is exactly why they dislike each other. Now they get to play it out on the court.
Well,
this makes that game even more interesting to me. Thank you for that, Dan. See, everyone out there, you learn every day.
I learned that all this morning. So
that's good. That's good. So opening day happened. The Giants can't hit, I suppose. Maybe we should try out. Let's go and try out. Maybe we can, But opening day, what are your thoughts? Dodgers crushed some people. Same old, same old. What are your excitements here?
It is really it's a bit. Yeah, the Giants, no runs in the first two games, 5 hits combined, 1 in yesterday's game. First time I think they've been shut out in back-to-back games to start a season since 1909, which was the year we both graduated from high school. So it's been a long time.
Really
and the thing that cracks me up is about this time of year is people are freaking the hell out. I took a let me find that. I found a screenshot of a tweet after game 1 that just cracked me up. It was some guy giving up on the season,
giving up.
It was absurd. And it is absurd. I went back and looked about it because I remembered last year one of the opening series was, not one of the opening series, Yankees opening against the Brewers and just boat raced them for 3 days. One game's 20-4. Just outscored them. They had that was the torpedo bats had kind of come in.
I remember the torpedo. Everything was sailing out of the yard.
In the ballpark, they hit a gazillion home runs, and the Brewers looked like utterly overmatched. Well, okay, the Brewers ended up fine. They made the playoffs, and
the Yankees didn't. Well, I don't know if they made the playoffs, but they got disposed of pretty quick, didn't they?
Yeah. So this alarmist thing, 18 inning games to a 162 game season, is absurd to me. Let's see if I
love that word, alarmist. Kids out there, don't be an alarmist. I'll say.
Okay, this is a quote. This is a quote from opening day.
Okay.
Talking about Buster Posey, the Giants GM. Buster had every opportunity to make trades and sign quality free agents this offseason. He signed Male and Hauser for the rotation. He signed Araz to play second base. He ignored the bullpen. He signed a platoon outfielder. This is all on Buster.
As if everything's over.
No, this is all on Buster. He has failed again.
Wow. That is indeed an alarmist. And I look at the standings here, and what else is alarming is the Rockies are in second place in the NL West.
What's the magic number?
Yeah, let's see. They're 0-1. The Dodgers are 2-0. So I think isn't that hilarious, right? The Giants, the Padres, the D-backs are all 0-2. Rockies are only 0-1, so they put them in second place. So we'll see. And Dan, later on in this show, we talked about it last week. We have AI. AI has picked the winners and losers.
Okay.
And we're going to combine that list with our list right here that I wrote down.
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
I wrote them down. So we're going to see. Okay?
Okay.
It's going to be exciting. All right. So Dan, are you ready? We have a journalism question here. The formatting was really gnarly there. So I don't know if you were able to read it before. It showed up in our Run a Show in like 1-point font. So
I was able to read it. Yeah.
Let me put my eyeballs on to read it for the viewers out there. Okay.
Monocle.
All right. Here we go. Now this one came in from Reddit, our Reddit journalism forum. And I thought maybe Cooper Cup, but he spells his name with a C, I think, yes. But this one has come from K Cup 2417. Okay. K Cup says, weird move, or am I being too sensitive? Hi, everyone. I preface this by saying I'm still a pretty new reporter. I've only been in the field for about 9 months now. Therefore, I am definitely not perfect and make mistakes. Also, I'm not completely sure what's considered standard practice. Recently, I used a word in the wrong way in a brief. Instead of messaging me separately about it to tell me, my copy editor put it in the Teams channel. That's, I guess, like a Slack that has all of the other reporters and both my managing editor and editor-in-chief in it. In the message to all my colleagues and bosses, she called it embarrassing. She didn't use my name, but it was clearly my beat, and I always write briefs on this organization. So it's not like it was hard for everyone to tell it was mine. Am I wrong in thinking she went about this the wrong way? I understand that copy editors must get frustrated by frequent reporter mistakes, but that really embarrassed me. And it's not like this is something I do all the time. K-Cup, I feel you, buddy. I picked this one out because I want to hear what Dan has to say about the reporter-editor relationship and what your thoughts are on this one.
This is absurd. Absurd abuse of that copy editor was way out of line.
Way out of line? Okay.
Way out of line to do it. I mean, first of all, we all make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that copy there. Let me just say that having been like pretty much all those things involved, like I have been the young reporter, I've been the copy editor, I've been like higher up in the chain, like a kind of a leadership position as an editor. And from any vantage point, that was all wrong. But I'll tell you, there is a breed of copy editor, not me.
Yeah.
But I think having been like there's a sanctimonious, when they find a mistake, they're happy about it. Not like, oh, it's my job to fix this, catch this stuff. It's like my superiority now has a purpose in life, and I can make a big show of because sometimes even if they don't do it publicly, they will message you and say, hey, you said in the 8th inning, but the box score shows it was 9th inning. Do you want me to change it to the 9th? Yeah, sorry about that. It was probably the 9th inning. Well, I'm just making sure because you wrote 8th. Yeah, no, I get it. Like, okay, so it is the 9th. Like, bro.
You just want to
like you don't have any moral like high ground to say like give me a break because you made the mistake, but the person is clearly relishing the moment to you spelled it this way, like, okay. Second of all, it's perfectly reasonable to flag that directly to the reporter as K-Cup signaled at the beginning, like, hey, instead of messaging me directly, yeah, that's how you do it. Hey, look, you use this word, watch out for that. This is the wrong context. Here's the dictionary definition. I have writers who do that all the time. They're a little on the young side. They tend towards using a word that sounds right, like it's got a flow, it's got it's a cool word, but that's not the right word for that spot.
Got it. Yeah.
And she kind of, I'm saying she. We don't know anything about.
I don't know if K-Cup is a.
I don't know why I started saying she. This reporter.
The editor was a she.
Okay, maybe that's
right. So they said she went about this the wrong way.
If there's some indication that maybe this was like a common misusage, right? So alerting the newsroom, like, hey, I'm sick of seeing this word used in this way.
Yeah.
But if you do that, you would do what that editor did, which is you put it in a phony sentence, like a made up sentence, not one from the actual word that you could trace it back to the reporter.
You know it's his beat.
That's the way The Athletic does a lot. We have a whole style guide about like, and they'll make up a sentence, they'll make up people, they'll make up whatever, but just to put the word in a similar context in a way that's being frequently misused. And we have a copy editor who sends out notes exactly like this, and it's titled like, "Here's what we're seeing lately," and it'll flag like common mistakes, or we have style, hyphenate minor league or not, that kind of thing. Just a little persnickety stuff, but they flag it on behalf of the greater good of everybody. So I was shocked by this because it's just a blatant overstep by the copy editor to make a show of a young reporter, especially do it to a young reporter. Like, it undermines your confidence, it undermines your standing in the
terrible.
Even if that reporter had made that mistake 10 times, there's still no excuse for the public flagellation. It's a private thing. In the way that no manager would say, "I'm sick of our shortstop making errors. That guy made an error after error. Just embarrassing. It's embarrassing." He wouldn't say that publicly.
That would be. That's a great way to lose the clubhouse if you did do that.
Lose the clubhouse of the player. Everybody looks bad in that situation. How you doing? Pick it up. So yeah, that was an easy one.
I love the expansion there of sanctimonious. I do love that word. And by the way, there's a Taylor Swift song where she uses that exact word, and I love that song. Like, it was like maybe, we're never ever getting back together, and she calls him a sanctimonious whatever. It's one of those songs. But Dan, that was a great pull right there. Let me ask you this. In reporter editor dome, I remember that at the places I worked at, we had pretty much the same copy editor that would run our beat. And, so if they were in science and health and medicine, that's what they were specialized in. How does that work nowadays? Are there specialties? Or are they, just broad?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because, like, I'll just give you the example of the Athletic. It's evolved a lot over the years. Now I work in the baseball vertical, they call it. I work in the baseball vertical. And often the baseball stories are edited by a baseball-specific editor. But there you go. Not always. And we have a universal, we call it the Daily Desk. They edit anything. They might do hockey, they might do soccer, they might do basketball, they might do baseball. They kind of do a catch-all thing. So, but even in that case, it's like, later hours or weekends or whatever, or busy times, there's overflow, it'll go to the Daily Desk. But even in those situations, a story that requires what we call a baseball read, meaning you need a baseball expert to read the story, that will be handled differently. Well, hey, this one needs a baseball read, because it's not just this, like a stats heavy analytics story where the jargon might be take some deeper understanding of that topic. Like, I know hockey, I'm in and around, but I don't know well enough to read like an expert writing in an expert level, right?
Got it.
I would miss something. So
got it. Okay. Huh. Yeah. When the baseball stats and the RPAs and the QBRs and XYZs and all that stuff, it's like, whoa, we need that Mike Gimbel. Three. Hey, so we're going to publish Mike's segments this weekend in spirit of the baseball season kicking off. So I'm excited for that. But first, I want to hear, and we touched on this last show, and it was pretty fascinating. You sent me the article. Good stuff. Let's talk about The Simpsons. Now, Dan, you have a book. We got to get this book published.
Yeah.
We got to get this thing published. So tell me about this book. Tell me about the whole concept there that you were getting into last week.
Well, I watched The Simpsons all the time. I love the show. And then, for a while back before we had Netflix and all this stuff,
Yeah.
Sometimes my late night comfort viewing would be to watch Simpsons reruns.
Yeah.
And I started noticing that, the Homer at the bat episode is the famous one because they got all the baseball stars, 9 baseball stars to come on the show, Roger Clemens and all this stuff. And but beyond that, they clearly had knowledgeable sports people working as writers because they would have pretty sports savvy episodes. There was one about Lisa on Ice, where she was a hockey player. There was Sunday Bloody Sunday, or Sunday Cruddy Sunday, where it was about the Super Bowl, and they had guest stars all the time. Tom Brady, Joe Namath, LeBron James, Magic Johnson was the first celebrity sports guest voice.
Wow.
Sometimes that would be very unusual. We have Gene Tennis and Sal Bando from the 1972 A or 74 A's they came in and had a quick cameo because Homer was, and I found out that was there was a writer on the show who was a fan of those teams, and he worked in Sal Bando and Gene Tennis.
Wrote him in.
I thought it came up so often. I said, I think it started as I'm going to do a story on sports in The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time that I started doing that, there was probably 50 athletes who had been on the show, and Venus Williams, Serena Williams, Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, and I thought I'm going to set out to interview all these people and just find out what their experience was like. Johnny Unitas, so all these things. So I more or less. If there were 50 at the time, I tracked down 40 of them.
And that's awesome, man.
Incredible. Wow. If there were 50 living ones, I tracked down 40 of them, including all 9 of the baseball players. And it was a really interesting experience because I didn't know how it was going to go, but I would at a game. Sometimes a lot of these were at games, they're in game mode or whatever, and go into the clubhouse and go to Roger. I remember Roger Clemens was one of the first people. And he was the Yankees had come to San Francisco. It was a rare Yankees.
Right.
Yeah, and he
NLAL. Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing at what was then Pac Bell Park, and he was on the phone, and he got off the phone, and I said, "Hey, can I grab you for a second?" He goes, "Yeah, I got to make one more phone call, but I'll be with you." And I'm like, "Okay." And he was making funeral arrangements for somebody in the family.
No,
this is an ideal situation. So he comes back and like, I actually wanted to ask you about being on The Simpsons, and he was great. He's like, that's one of the most favorite things I've ever done.
Wow.
My kids loved. They didn't care anything at all. First thing he said is like, "Oh yeah, I loved it. You have to refresh my memory a little bit." I said, "Well, you clucked like a chicken." He goes, "That's right." Remember, he got hypnotized.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, right. Anyway, I kind of had a similar experience with everybody I talked to. Sometimes they're just recording a few lines, but so their memory isn't super vivid and there's only so much to talk about. But they did talk about how they loved how their player looked in terms of the animation, or how the whole entire episode came out, or how often they got. Wade Boggs said, "I'll be walking through an airport and people stop me and there's like, hey." They don't go like, "Hey, you're in the Hall of Fame. You got 3,000 hits." They go, "You were in The Simpsons."
You were on The Simpsons.
So Canseco. I don't remember if I wrote about this in the story. I think I did, but he was a jerk about it, and and apparently he was a jerk during the taping of the episode. And if you go to the DVD tracks, remember DVDs?
Yes, I remember DVDs. There's some right there.
I think it was Al Jean, the producer, said, we won't use anybody's name, but it rhymes with Manseco. That he didn't want to be there and was difficult and had an entourage and attitude from the he walked in there. When I was talking to him, I go, "Hey, I just wanted to get your thoughts on The Simpsons. It's coming up an anniversary. How do you reflect on that experience?" Because, man, that was a long time ago. Yeah, but it remains kind of beloved and people talk about it. Do you? What was your experience recording? And he goes, "I read the lines." And then I asked him another question, and he goes, "Hey, can you hang on for 1 second?" And then he just hung up.
Wow.
Like he didn't want any part of it, which I think reflected was like right in line with his attitude for the thing. So for the episode,
that's it.
But that's it. Like LeBron James, I remember LeBron James was, I was going to say at the peak of his stardom, but his peak of stardom has been a long time. But I emailed the Cleveland Cavaliers media relations department because they were coming to Golden State. I said, would it be possible to get LeBron James for 1 second? And they didn't respond. And I asked another reporter, and they said the best strategy with LeBron is when they first arrive, they take the Oakland Coliseum, they take a short walk from the bus to the locker room. And you can come back to get LeBron during that short walk. You can just grab him. So I tried to clear that with them, and I think somebody said, yeah, that sounds fine. And then I got there, and it was kind of looming around, and one of the PR people said, what are you doing? Who are you? I mean, I was
you're not like trolling around.
And I said, well, I got one question from LeBron. I'm told I can kind of grab him when he walked from the bus to the thing. What do you mean grab him? What do you mean grab him? Like, well, I'm doing a book about The Simpsons, and I've talked to everybody. I just have one question about what his experience was like.
Yeah.
I think she kind of begrudgingly let me ask him for you. But it's pretty hostile. I get, right? I mean, I'm not totally begrudging the Cavaliers for acting because he's the number one sought after person. He's got a million people trying to get there. Yeah. Like, I got one question. I got one, but so I'm like, not sure how this is going to go. And like LeBron couldn't have been more into it. He's like, I loved it. I love watching the show. I loved cartoons growing up as a kid. I always wanted to be a voice. It was a big deal to me. It was just a huge thrill. So it all turned out fine.
That's good. And you talked to Griffey too, did you not? Yes?
Yeah, Griffey was another guy who was difficult. I think I have talked on the show before. Like, I think Griffey in general is a good guy. I don't think, he fixed my collar once.
He fixed your collar.
Something about something about my face he didn't like, because I think other reporters have had really good luck with him, and I've never had a good experience with him where he was never like he never like good, but he was just didn't want to do it. And I think he said like that I think the one thing he said, because he's like didn't really want to talk about it. And he said, I learned real quick after that. My dad said, you're not here for stuff like his dad. You remember his dad, Ken Griffey?
Oh, yeah.
A really good player. No. He said, I learned I'm here to play baseball. That's my thing. I can't get distracted by doing stuff like too many off the field stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think he really wanted to put it behind. I mean, sure. Like all these guys, they hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So,
I love the weight logs.
I got Joe Namath at a Super Bowl media day, the Radio Row thing. And I just remember he was it was a really weird conflagration. I should have looked this up, but there's a pool player nicknamed the Black Widow. She's this Asian woman.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen her on TV, ESPN.
The Black Widow. Yeah. So somehow ended up being me, Joe Namath, and the Black Widow. And,
wow.
And Joe Namath was great about it. Like, he was like, I taped it. I didn't know what the heck was happening. But then when I saw the episode, I could not believe that they got the words that were coming out of my mouth, and they were so funny. And so, it's a lot of just little interviews like that. Not all of them involved the Black Widow, like kind of standing by, and they knew each other somehow. Like, I think she was New York based, like Joe. But
yeah,
anyway.
That makes sense. So the question here is now the book. Is it done? Would you add to it? Because obviously there's some more stars. I don't know how many more. That's a good trivia question for maybe our friend Henrietta. But like, what's your thoughts? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I should read. So it's funny. I wrote a draft of the book and I sent it to some publishers and to some agents, and they liked it. They didn't love it, and they just said it was confusing about, is it a TV book? But then when there's an anniversary of The Simpsons, it must have been the 25th anniversary, or maybe it was the 30th anniversary of the Over at the Bat episode.
Yeah,
I went and rewrote that chapter of the book because I did it in chapters. It was going to be the 100. Oh, this is going to be called. This is the thing. It was the name of the book is going to be called "Eat My Sports," right?
Bart Simpson's.
Yeah. Sure, the 100 greatest sports moments in The Simpsons. So I had a chapter on each of the 100 things that made the cut. So I went back to the baseball episode and chapter, and I realized it was flawed. And the version I wrote for The Athletic, I thought came out much better. I streamlined it. I cut out a lot of stuff. It was focused, and that came out well, and people tend to like it. And I think if I just did that for the whole book and went through and like, hey, let's streamline this, let's write it better, let's change the focus to, I think it's more of a sports book than a TV book for all you agents out there. For all you who said, like, pick a lane, sports book or TV book, sports book or TV book. Sports book.
I like the sport. Yeah, I like that. That's better. All right. So let's see here. I know some people that can help you with some marketing for sure.
Let me just say one more thing, because one more thing is, so I also talked to as many writers and directors and animators as I could. And one of the guys, have you seen the skiing episode with Stupid Sexy Flanders?
No. Oh. I don't think I ever saw that one.
So Ned Flanders, hey diddly, the neighborino guy.
Yeah. Hey diddly neighbor, yes.
Skis, but he skis in this super tight fitting Lycra ski suit. And he's he turns around, his little tushy's like glistening in the snow. Homer's famous line from that, seeing it is like stupid, sexy Flanders, because he's distracted by this.
Stupid, sexy Flanders.
So I talked to the animator behind the Ned Flanders, stupid, sexy Flanders design and artwork, and he was hilarious. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. So that's some good stuff, man. I definitely we gotta let's get Dan's book published.
I'm listening. Here's that phone. Hello?
Are we? If you want to contact him,
there you go.
Right there. Yeah. Hit that QR code. Smash that like button, and tune into our show.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dan, the moment all the robots out in the audience have been waiting for.
Yeah.
Let's see. We even have a chat here. So yeah, somebody's like pandering to us. I think they want us to add them on Discord. Okay. We're like, we graduated high school in 1909. We don't really know what Discord is too much. So, we'll get there when we get there. Okay. So Dan, I have our picks from last week, and I have Henrietta's pick. That's the name of my bot there.
Okay.
Let me, do you know where that name comes from?
Henrietta?
I'm going to give you a hint. Yes, Rancho Cotati High School. Now, you took French, I believe, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took Spanish from Miss Marshall.
Yeah.
Remember Miss Marshall?
I took Spanish for my senior year. Yeah, from Miss Marshall.
Okay.
She was the best teacher I had.
Same. My favorite teacher, had her for 4 years. Do you remember the mannequin she had in the corner of her room?
No.
I do.
1909. That goes back pretty far. So I have to lie. I mean, I have to be honest and say I don't remember the mannequin.
Well, I probably wouldn't have remembered either, but I kind of like mannequins. That's a weird thing, but I had a mannequin in my old place in Virginia, and I dressed her up in like Giants gear, Niner gear, and her name was Henrietta because Miss Marshall's mannequin was named Henrietta.
Okay.
And why Henrietta was there is that's how you would practice talking to another person in Spanish. So she would tell you in Spanish, say hello to Henrietta using a formal usted. So then you would say, hola, Henrietta, ¿cómo está usted? Right? And then Henrietta would not say much. So kind of like your Taylor Swift over there. That is very, she's good like that. Okay.
Yeah, I have to get Taylor out for another episode. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Strap on your seatbelts. This is Henrietta's picks for the 2026 each division. Okay. AL East. Okay, Dan has picked the Red Sox. I've picked the Yankees. Henrietta picks the Yankees. Yeah.
That's what an AI bot would say.
And the AI bot says Aaron Judge and their pitching is deep enough to carry them to the top. So basically, Aaron Judge. That's that. They have the Tampa Bay Devil Rays coming in last. Okay. American League Central. You picked the Tigers. I picked the Cleveland Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Henrietta goes with, this time she goes with you. She is picking the Tigers.
All right.
Says overwhelming favorites. Young lineup is maturing at exactly the right time. And she's picking the Minnesota Twinkies to finish last. Sad. Okay. The AL West. Now.
Well, we're going to call it now. We're going to call this the AI West now.
The AI West. Perhaps maybe a homer move by you, Dan, but you picked the M's, the Mariners there, which, they're a good team. I went on a limb, Skinny Branch. I picked the A's. Let's go, Sacktown. Yeah. Henrietta says the Seattle Mariners.
Well,
the best 5-man starting rotation in baseball.
All right.
They're going to win 95 plus games, Henrietta says.
Henrietta's on it.
And she says the Los Angeles Angels are going to be in last place. And she literally threw some shade here. Even in the weak division, they lack the depth to compete over 162 games.
Oh, Henrietta did not.
Savage.
Oh,
Savage, right? Savage. Okay. Now let's move over to the National League. We're going to go with the National League East. Dan, you picked the Phillies, and I picked the Braves. Mm-hmm. And Henrietta has disagreed with both of us. She's going with the New York Mets. And she says they completely reshaped their roster. Polanco and Bichette are a lethal squad.
Okay. Henrietta's not going to make a gut pick, right? No. It's going to be, This is going to be a math equation for Henrietta.
That's it.
This is going to keep in my AI heart. I feel like this is the Florida Marlins year, or the Miami Marlins year.
Yeah. Well, and then she throws some shade on our friends in Washington there. The Washington Nationals will come in last, and she says, still firmly in the basement of a brutal division.
Wow.
That's some good almost alliteration there. Pretty good. Okay. The National League Central, which I know we've all been excited about this one. Now, interestingly enough, Dan, you and I picked the Cubs.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? Henrietta has picked the Cubs too.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Look at that. That is one where all three of us.
Yeah.
She says.
Bet it all on the Brewers and.
Yeah, they said the Cubs have the most complete roster in a very flawed division.
Okay. She's a little rough on the divisions, right?
Yeah, she doesn't like
around all the divisions.
Yeah. She has the Cincinnati Reds coming in last and says, all she says is, it's going to be an uphill battle. Funny. Okay. And then she decides to get a little cheeky now with the NL West. Okay. So she says this: Death, Taxes, and the Boys in Blue.
Get some fresh material there, Henrietta. We were using that one in our junior year. That was 1908.
That was 1908. So as we know, Dan, you picked the Dodgers. I picked the Giants. Complete homer, right? Yeah. Homer call for sure. I don't think the Giants have any chance to win that division unless the Dodgers have like maybe 900 injuries. Yeah. But Henrietta goes with you. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, who does she have coming in second?
Giants. That is interesting.
Yeah. And she says Ohtani is pitching again, and they are the only team in baseball consistently projected over 100 wins. She said that about the Dodgers. Giants, a very solid, well-rounded roster that should easily slot into a wild card position.
Whoa. All right.
Henrietta.
Look at this.
And, of course, she has the Rockies in last place, projected to be the worst team in baseball potentially winning fewer than 60 games.
I mean, Henrietta's tough to argue with. I don't, logically she's kind of irrefutable, but that Giants pick does surprise me because your Padres are kind of loaded too.
That's
I
you know
what?
They were
kind of the consensus number 2. So
Henrietta, I thought that too. Yeah, I thought that too. But it's so this is what she says about the Padres. They're contending but retooling. They have star power but lack the depth of LA or San Francisco. So she's saying that the Giants have more depth. Okay. So yeah. Take a gander, Dan, who she has for the Cy Young and the MVP for the National League.
Well, remember, very statty. Paul Skeens, right?
Cy Young, yes.
And the MVP would be Ohtani.
Mm-hmm. And she literally says this: betting against Ohtani at this point is a losing proposition. she's getting cheeky there. Anyway, she did all the predictions for the playoffs, the World Series. So who do you think she has winning the World Series?
Dodgers over Yankees would be the tie.
Dodgers over Seattle Mariners.
Seattle Mariners. Okay. Well, I'd take that as a Mariners fan. Just give me the dance.
Yeah. She predicts the Seattle Mariners over the New York Yankees. The Mariners boost the deepest starting rotation while the Yankees have star power. Seattle's pitching will ultimately suffocate New York bats in 7 games. Dude, she's like predicting stuff in next October, dude. It's crazy. Anyway, so
remember the show. We got a clip and save.
Oh, I'm gonna post this on my wall.
Okay, like the little. You're gonna take that little artwork.
Yeah,
frame it, hang it up.
Yeah,
it's in pen, right? You're not gonna go no erasers for like.
It's definitely It's definitely pen.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I have a brown bag and a brown sack. Dan, let's bring us home. What say you?
What did we do last week?
We did the sack last week, I believe.
Let's do the brown bag.
All right, let's do the brown bag. Here we go. Okay. We have a journalism question.
All
okay,
right.
So that's 2 here. Put that thinking cap on. Okay. Oh, when you were growing up, what was your favorite news publication? Did you prefer newspapers or magazines, and why?
Well, this is a great question because I realized
I don't even know this.
Huh?
I don't even know what you're going to say.
Well, I wanted to be a sports writer at a very early age. I was in 8th grade. Did you have Miss Yates as a teacher? Miss Yates?
Yes, Miss Yates. In 8th grade, I had her.
Was I in your class? I must have been in your class.
She had 2, I think. I think you were in the other. Wait, I can't remember. I think you were in the other class, though, dude.
Maybe. I don't recall. Anyway, I remember our 8th grade year, she said, near the end of the year, the assignment was to write a 5-page research paper on anything.
Okay.
And just the point was like, research something, write something, go through the process of doing that.
I remember that exercise.
So I picked the history of Candlestick Park because I thought, I was baseball mad at that point. This was 19. I was going to say 19.
1881.
81. And I did it. And at some point I thought, holy smokes, this is fun. Got writing, which I like, and researching and sports. I'm like, I think there's a job where you can like get paid to do this all the time. Yeah. And it was at that moment when I really thought I want to be a sports writer from doing that.
That's awesome.
So my favorites, so I started reading newspapers and magazines with an eye towards emulating these people, like studying. And it wasn't just entertainment or being informed. It was like, what's the craft of putting together a story? I don't know if I thought about it in quite those terms, but it was definitely like, I'm reading this so that I can do this later.
Right.
And the Santa Rosa Press Democrat was our hometown paper.
That's correct.
And they had a writer named Larry Stone who covered the Giants, who was very good, Larry Stone. And he went. So I got some validation because he was. I'm like, this guy's really good. And then he was hired by the San Francisco Examiner, which back then there's no internet. So once he was gone from the Press Democrat, I couldn't read him anymore.
Gonzos, right? Yeah, you're like, oh.
He went from there to the Seattle Times and ended up covering the Mariners for many years. Great career as a sports writer. But that's one of the shames of the corporatization of media is that there's so few of those hometown papers now. The Santa Rosa Press Democrat still exists.
Still there.
A lot of the other, I wouldn't call that small. It's a medium-sized paper, and Santa Rosa is a real city, but you don't have their local favorite writers anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's some conglomerate somewhere. You don't have your guy from your paper from your town.
Yeah. Yahoo News. It's terrible.
And oddly enough, I wasn't a big Sports Illustrated guy till later, but I liked Sport Magazine, which at the time was a valid rival to Sports Illustrated. Sport Magazine was really good, and for some reason it was more inviting to me. I think they were more baseball focused. I think they were more
stat focused too, if I remember. They did a real good.
They had some stats on them too, for sure. Anyway, I was a Sport Magazine person. And then in the 90s at college, I became a Sports Illustrated guy. Anyway, those are my favorites, and those favorite publications were and remain transformative to me. Like, that was my journalism school. I didn't go to journalism school. I went to UC Davis.
We went to the California Aggie School of Journalism.
Right, where I majored in English, but I learned sports journalism and what it could be as an art form from reading Larry Stone, reading Sport Magazine, reading the 1990s Sports Illustrated, which, kids today will not know just how big a deal that was. The epic showcase every week for the best in sports journalism. Yeah, the writers who wrote during that era were some of the best of all time, and they all had them all on the same staff, and it's
amazing. Yes,
Steve Rushin, Rick Riley, Rick Tellender, Gary Smith, who was he turned everything into an art form. And you saw a Gary Smith story, and you're like, hold my calls. Like, I got to read however many pages this is. I'm going in.
That's right. Yeah.
Tom Verducci was doing baseball. Tim Kurchin was doing baseball. I mean, it's just this incredible greatness delivered every week. And now it's nothing. But once upon a time, it was what you wanted to be.
And there's a kid out there. We got to find the kid one of these days. There's a kid out there who is now a journalist somewhere in sports land that grew up reading your stuff in the San Jose Mercury News.
My boss at the Athletic says I used to ride the bus and read your stories because he grew up in San Jose.
So good.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's great. What a great answer to that question. That's good. Yeah, you remember didn't you work a summer at our Rohnert Park Cotati Clarion? You worked there.
I worked there. I went in. I said I want to be a sports writer, and Dora Gossage was. We kind of take that for granted. She was a female African-American woman. I guess that the female probably gave that woman part away. Who was the king of the sports world in our town. Dora Gossage was the sports editor and writer, and she was at all the high school events covering everything. She was all the time everywhere, and she was great at her job, and she was a mentor for me. She hired me, and I was terrible, and she made me less terrible. That's what I always tell people who want to get in journalism, and it's probably true for any job out there. Start early because you're going to suck. When you start, you'll suck, and you'll get better. So the faster you can suck less, the better, because you can make the same mistakes everybody makes when they first start out. But I did it at 15, 16, and by the time I was an 18-year-old in college, I was terrible, but but I had coming up through the ooze, right, in the evolution of a species, right? I was on the sand.
Then you became the king of Freeborn Hall.
25
Editor-in-chief right over here.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and impressive stuff. Cool stuff. So, okay, get out there and do it. So, Dan, what do you have going on for your upcoming week? Are you covering some baseball stuff? You coming to LA? You gonna like do some Dodger coverage here? Like, what's going on with you?
Oh, you know what? I think I got to work right now.
Oh, okay. Breaking news! You heard it here first.
I gotta get going. I gotta hop
okay
right now. I'll explain next week.
All right, you go, and I'm gonna play us out. See you, man.
Right.
Peace out.